As a freelance graphic designer, I often find it hard to balance work and life. I would love to know some advice on how to stay on task whilst juggling a million things at once and what to do when feeling overwhelmed.
That's a very good question. And it's something that I struggle with. When I was a freelancer, I struggled with, now, running Storyfolk, it's something I continue to struggle with. I think that as creatives, we put so much of ourselves in our work that line is really hard to set that hard, clear boundary. And at times it does kind of blur into work and life because sometimes, you'll be at home and in your personal time and having a shower or walking your dog and, ideas just kind of keep coming. They don't really turn off. So I feel like that makes it hard. But I think planning purposeful time where you can have a reset and have time away from the computer, whether it's, just going for a walk or going to the beach, or if you, like mountain bike riding or yoga, making sure you have that time in your schedule to do the things that you like. Might be axe throwing, whatever it is, there's lots of things that you can do for that kind of you time. I think that's really important. And I think that the juggling a million things at once is something that I also feel like I struggle with. So I understand that feeling. I think that prioritizing what you need to get done and the things that add the most value. So for instance, yesterday's a good example. Or even today, there's a few things that we've got a big sharing of the creative to a client. We had a meeting. I've got 2 meetings and then I've got to do some work in there as well. So in my mind, to plan my day, I need to figure out what's most important to Storyfolk and where I can add the most value, and then also lean on and leverage the amazing people in my team. And by team, there's only 3 of us, but hi, Cass and Riley, if you're watching, and know that, in some areas I'm going to flourish in these specific areas, and then in other areas they're going to, do a million better, just an amazing job. So leaning on that. So I think as a freelancer, you can still utilize and tap into that by, sharing your ideas and collaborating. That's how Cass and I started Storyfolk, was through collaboration as freelancers, and then it became something more. So maybe sharing that workload, or maybe it's just in a soundboarding sense. If it is feeling a bit overwhelming, reaching out to people who can empathize because they're in the same industry, or if you don't want to network or talk to your professional friends, your friends and your family, and just kind of sharing with them what's got you feeling that way and feeling overwhelmed, and kind of unburdening yourself, and then sometimes realizing it's not the day for really productive work, or it's not the day to achieve the most creative thing you've ever produced. And that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day, and you can kind of start the new day with a new mindset.
Brilliant. Tara, how do you deal with kind of the feeling of overwhelmed?
Well, it comes back down to understanding what your reset buttons are. And, for everyone who's seen me before, I have a crush on the brain, and I always have a brain right near me. So, there's 3 sections of the brain. You got the back bit, the middle bit, and the front bit. Okay. The back bit is it in here. It deals with you literally staying alive as an individual and as a species. The front part, this part, it deals with your higher order thinking. So problem solving, language, personality, memory, all the things that make us really human is in here. This part in the middle that's attached to the bit that keeps you alive is our threat response. And when we think about threat response, this part of the brain was created when we had saber-toothed tigers trying to kill us, right? So this being attached to the bit that keeps us alive means that the moment that this is switched on, everything in our body or our brain that we don't need to run away or fight the tiger is switched off. So that includes our logical part of the brain. So when we have stress or feelings of overwhelm, we actually really struggle to make helpful decisions in terms of setting tasks, completing tasks, getting through things like that. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's going to feel like you're juggling a million things even more. and it can feel really overwhelming. So by doing the things that reset your brain, so there's 2 reset buttons. One is mindfulness. I've already taught you the 5 steps of mindfulness practice, so make sure you rewatch that section and practice that regularly, because the more that you're able to identify what's going on in your body and outside your body and also in your thoughts, the easier it is for you to make helpful decisions. But the second reset button to switch this part on is actually exercise. Because if you are running away from a tiger or you killed the tiger, in both of those situations, you exerted yourself quite intensely for a short period of time, and then the tiger went away and you lived. So that is literally tricking our brain into believing that we have gotten rid of the threat. So move your body, but do it in a way that's going to be helpful for your nervous system. If you're so stressed out that you feel like your nervous system is shot, going for a run or doing boxing is probably unhelpful, because that's really high intensity. I know for me, when I've experienced burnout in the past, I wasn't even able to do, runs. I had to just walk, right? Or just do yoga, or literally just do some yoga nidra. Yeah. Like there are ways that you can move your body in a helpful way for your nervous system.
Great stuff. This is also something. Sorry.
I just wanted to compliment Tara. That was a good answer. I really liked it.
Thanks.
Like this brain thing, I think I want to get one for Christmas.
Do it.
I also like the idea of the feeling of I just defeated a saber-toothed tiger.
I love that too.
It's going to make me feel better, I think.